G'day guys, welcome to another episode from Depot Adventures. My name is Hugo and I'm a tour guide in Melbourne. Now today I thought I would talk about Australia's arguably most loved food. Don't worry, it's not Vegemite. We've done another video on Vegemite. I'll post that below. This is something a bit sweeter, certainly less salty, and it's said to be found in 1 out of 2 households in Australia. Some of you might know what it is. Now, if ever you're going overseas to visit an Australian, the best thing you can do is to fill your suitcase with these things. Tim Tams. They are Australia's favourite chocolate biscuit, or cookie, you might call them. Now, you can see that I've eaten most of this packet already, but that's not unusual. Don't worry, I've saved a couple for us. This is what a Tim Tam looks like. It is a rectangular biscuit. There we go. It's actually 2 separate chocolate biscuits inside of here with a bit of cream filling. So let's have a closer look. There we go. Now, it does say that Tim Tams have almost a slightly caramelly flavour as well, which they certainly do. And geez, they are delicious. Now, these Tim Tams have been sold in Australia for over 50 years. But like a lot of Australian foods, we adopted it from the British. In fact, it was inspired by a British food called a penguin bar. It's nothing to do with an actual penguin, but on the wrapper is actually a picture of a penguin. And Mr. Norris went to London on a tour to see what foods he could bring back to Australia and sell for the Arnott's Food Company. We saw the penguin biscuit over there and said, geez, that would do pretty well in Australia. At the same time, he went to the Kentucky Derby in 1958, and the winning horse that year was a horse called Tim Tam. And we thought, that name I like. In fact, I wonder if we can call this new biscuit a Tim Tam. That's exactly what they did. Now, Tim Tams quickly became a staple in Australia, and as I said, about half of Australian households are said to have a packet of Tim Tams in them. I know, growing up, the Tim Tams did not last very long in our house. Now, there are 11 biscuits that come in an original packet of Tim Tams. Now, I've been told that the 11 actually represents the 11 ships of the First Fleet. Those were the ships that arrived from Britain to Australia in 1788 to start a new British colony there. Although I've also been told by someone who works in marketing that the reason they have 11 biscuits is because it's an odd number. And that means it can't be shared easily or evenly, therefore you're more inclined to buy 2 packets. I'm not sure if Arnott's would ever admit to that, but either way, 11 does seem to go pretty quickly in most households. Now, unlike Vegemite, which many Americans have tried and have not enjoyed, Tim Tams is something that is very popular. Taylor Swift has said, in fact, that a Tim Tam is delicious and that she loves them. Now, there's one last thing I want to tell you about a Tim Tam, and it's probably the best part of the Tim Tam. It is a food and drink combo called a Tim Tam Slam. It's become very popular. Arnott's have even used the Tim Tam Slam in their own marketing, even bringing out a Tim Tam that is perfectly designed for this task. Now, here is my warm beverage, a cup of tea, in fact. But you could easily have a hot chocolate, a coffee, if you wanted to be really Australian, a cup of hot Milo. This Tim Tam is now going to be our straw, believe it or not. So we have to bite off the diagonal corners here. We've got our hot beverage. We're going to suck up this tea through the Tim Tam. Now, what happens then is this like cookie biscuity texture begins to break down, crumble, the chocolate begins to melt, and then when you eat the Tim Tam, you get this amazing gooey, chocolatey explosion in your mouth. So let's give it a go. So that tea is the best sip of tea I've ever had. Here we go. The Tim Tam is now a bit melted. I'm going to quickly put it in my mouth before it falls apart. It goes everywhere, but geez, it's worth it. Tim Tam Slam. Give it a try. This biscuit is now sold in America at a lot of supermarkets. So you can get your hands on a Tim Tam, get your hands on a taste of Australia, and make sure you try a Tim Tam Slam. Well, I hope you've learned something about Australia's favourite biscuit. We will see you next time here at Depot Adventures. And make sure to hit that subscribe button. Give us a share of your videos. Help us out here. We're a tour company in Melbourne, Australia, with not much going on at the moment. So we'll see you soon on Depot. And make sure you get another Tim Tam into you. I think I will now.